We begin with some weird-ass giant sea creature rampaging in the middle of Manhattan, and the Avengers quickly go to handle it. Captain America receives confirmation that the city has already been evacuated, which Iron Man claims is S.H.I.E.L.D's typical monster protocol. They quickly fired at the monster with the Avengers jet and forced it on its knee. Hulk gets impatient and demands they focus on their opponent. Falcon notices Hulk's unusual temper is beyond normal, and Hawkeye claims that Hulk is pissed off because he missed breakfast. Hulk claims he didn't miss breakfast, but that the fridge was empty. With Hulk raring to go at it, Captain America tells Hawkeye to let him out before he breaks down the door. Hawkeye was surprised that it happened before, but Hulk kicked it down again when Hawkeye was too slow to open the door. Hulk leads the charge and starts beating the shit out of the monster. Iron Man claims it is worrisome that they are already dealing with one rage monster. Thor hopes Hulk's rage will serve them well in battle, but Iron Man is skeptical. When Hulk beats down the beast, he quickly understands its feeling from one monster to another and feels terrible for it. When Hawkeye tries to shoot it down with the Avengers jet, Hulk jumps at it and they crash onto a roof. Iron Man proved himself right with Hulk going rogue again and asking Thor to finish up. Thor knocks the monster and sends it flying with a single punch. Hawkeye asks Hulk why he suddenly attacked them. Hulk explains that he knows all about monsters and when they want to make trouble. He claims that their monster was running scared, but when Falcon asks from what, they quickly see a giant tsunami headed for the city. Bracing for impact, Iron Man informs them that it's not just a giant tidal wave and confirms that he sees surfers riding it. When he scans their leader, he confirms that he's an Atlantean. As the wave swallows up the city, the Avengers quickly scatter to engage the enemy. Iron Man confronts their leader, who introduces himself as Attuma, an Atlantean warlord. Attuma claims that he spent years preparing his army for the day of their excellent surface conquest. He declares that the surface dwellers will finally experience a true conqueror's ambition. He claims that he has studied their kind and that the city would be the first step towards world domination. Iron Man attacks Attuma with his repulsor beams, but he blocks it with his weapon while Hulk jumps into the middle of the city, blowing away unsuspecting Atlanteans. Thor tells Hulk that it is not the time to be reckless and claims they need a strategy, not mindless chaos. Falcon then comes up from behind and picks them off one by one. Captain America and Hawkeye follow a group of Atlanteans who seem to be running away from them. Captain America suspects the enemy is acting suspiciously when they suddenly go underground. Meanwhile, Iron Man catches Atuma's sword with his bare hands, but gets distracted when Captain America reports that the Atlanteans have gone into the subways. Attuma overpowers him and nicks his armor with his sword, claiming they have no idea how vulnerable their city is. Iron Man zaps Attuma, to which he retaliates and kicks him against a wall, then escapes underground. Realizing he must engage in an underwater battle, Iron Man orders Jarvis to deploy his underwater suit, Rubber Ducky. Iron Man chases Attuma in the subways, but is later ambushed by Atlantean soldiers who lie in wait. He orders everyone to go underground except for Thor. He claims Thor is their wild card and orders him to keep as many Atlanteans on the surface as possible, suspecting their goal is somewhere in the subway. Hulk refuses and sulks, but Iron Man explains that Thor knows how to follow strategy, unlike him, who is only focused on smashing shit. Hulk then makes a hole in the ground, which drains the water into the subway. Falcon uses his scanner and confirms that the Atlanteans are scattered in a specific pattern. When Captain America and Hawkeye catch up to the Atlanteans, they find them planting devices on a platform. Captain America stops Hawkeye from touching it, and Iron Man worries that the Atlanteans have planted hundreds of such devices, and they're powering up. He orders them to escape, and Falcon arrives and flies them out. The Atlantean devices activated and sucked in all the water, which caused the columns to collapse. and water to flood the subways. Iron Man suspects the Atlanteans were only a distraction when they suddenly felt the ground shake and water flooding in. Attuma comes out claiming victory, having achieved their objective. Iron Man informs them that the Atlantean devices destabilized the bedrock beneath Manhattan, and the island will soon slide into the ocean, sinking New York City underwater. The Avengers regroup, to which Iron Man claims that Attuma separated the top layer of bedrock. Falcon claims that Attuma knew the right stress points precisely, and his devices were ideally placed to cause the disaster. While the others handle the Atlanteans still on land, Iron Man and Falcon fly out to check the situation. They were surprised to find an enormous tidal wave that would drown the entire city underwater. When Thor was raring to fight, Iron Man pulled him away and asked for help keeping the wave back. Thor channels enough electricity to hold the wave back long enough for them to make a more permanent solution. Iron Man asks Falcon to set his armor to match his electromagnetic frequency and pull up a high-tech Wamajama together. They created an energy barrier sturdy enough to hold the wave back. Iron Man claims this will only hold off the wave, but the island still slides into the ocean floor. In a face-off with Attuma and his men, Captain America takes the lead and gives out orders, but Hulk refuses to play along. Hulk claims he wants Attuma, but Captain America tries to convince him that they need a proper strategy to compensate for their overwhelming numbers. Hawkeye claims it is useless because the Hulk only follows his rage. Although outnumbered, the Avengers are still faring well against Attuma's men. While Iron Man and Falcon keep up the barrier, he asks Thor to return to the others to keep Hulk from rampaging. Hulk keeps blowing enemies against the barrier, which slowly compromises its stability. Worried about the God of Thunder, Attuma orders his men to keep Thor busy while he confronts Hulk alone. Attuma and Hulk exchange punches, and the impact takes a toll on the barrier. Although Hulk gives it his all, Attuma holds his own against him. Attuma claims that he is disappointed in the Hulk, who is reputed to be the strongest Avenger. Iron Man worries that the barrier won't hold as the fight drags on. Captain America claims that the Hulk is out of control, and Iron Man suggests stopping him. Captain America sends Thor to help, but gets inadvertently knocked down by the Hulk. Iron Man tries to talk Hulk down, explaining that their fighting doesn't help them. With the barrier on the verge of breaking down, Attuma taunts Hulk, wondering if he will finally surrender to the superior warrior. Hulk lowers his fist, and Attuma sends him flying against the barrier with a powerful punch. Attuma claims that the Avengers don't stand a chance, having beaten the strongest among them. Based on his calculations, Falcon informs Iron Man that the island will sink in the next 3 minutes. Iron Man orders the team to split up to cover more ground. Falcon carries Hawkeye into the air, claiming he'd benefit from a bird's-eye view. Captain America claims that the Atlanteans keep coming, to which he worries the battle won't end. Thor claims they are wasting time with the pawns when they should have dealt with Attuma first. When Attuma gloats, having overpowered Hulk, Iron Man fires missiles at him, followed by repulsor beams, but they prove ineffective. When Thor charges at him, he quickly kicks him away. Attuma declares victory and claims the world will recognize him as their new ruler. With the Atlanteans rejoicing, Attuma was surprised that the water levels were dropping. Attuma orders his men to check it out and returns them to their underwater posts. Iron Man asks Captain America and the others to keep Attuma busy while he checks what happened underwater. He was amazed to find the Hulk keeping the island in place while holding his breath. Iron Man returns to the others and informs them that the Hulk is buying them time by holding up the entire island and keeping it from sliding into the ocean. Thor gloats at Attuma, who is furious that his precious victory has been taken away. Attuma escapes, but not before jumping into the air and furiously smashing the ground, further pushing the island downward. Hulk could barely hold the island in place, but with the added pressure, he slowly slips off balance when Thor and Iron Man suddenly arrive, giving him a hand. Attuma sneaks up from behind and pulls Iron Man and Thor, forcing Hulk to lift the island himself. He claims they were already no match for him on the surface, but wouldn't stand a chance underwater in his domain. He throws them to the ground, but Iron Man stands back up and fires homing missiles at him. When Thor tries to attack him from behind, Attuma sees through it and buries him into the ground. He picks up Iron Man and removes his helmet, trying to drown him. Hulk is forced to see his friends dying before him, and his rage overcomes him. He breaks a piece of the island and throws it at Attuma. He then tosses Iron Man and Thor back onto land after they nearly drowned. Iron Man claims they must get back down there when they regain consciousness and worries that Attuma is way more powerful underwater. When he argues that the Hulk needs their help, they suddenly see Attuma flying in the air, which they suspect could only be the Hulk. All beaten up, Attuma stands back up, refusing to give up, when a raging Hulk flies out of nowhere and smashes him to the ground. When they thought they had finally won, Hulk turned his attention to them, who appeared still out of control. Thor tries to calm him down, claiming that he has fought well, and explains that they are not enemies. Iron Man tells them that Hulk is all right when he suddenly returns to normal, claiming his rage is under control. After saving the city, Iron Man reinforces the island's understructure to ensure this never happens again. He explains how Hulk is the Avenger of the Month for controlling his rage and saving the city. Hawkeye complains about how everyone gets Avenger of the Month except for him. Thor claims that Asgard is filled with various ferocious beasts and realizes they cannot always judge them by their appearances. Suddenly, they heard a disturbance nearby, but it was only the Hulk when they checked it out. He was devouring everything in the fridge, and Hulk claims they have a full fridge. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.